Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to show you how to bake a homemade soft bread with just 4 to 5 ingredients, and that too without oven. You might feel that baking a bread is difficult, but it's quite easy. Only the kneading part takes quite effort. Don't worry, if you follow my step-by-step procedure on preparing this bread, you will definitely end up in 100% results of soft bread, and even better than the store-bought one. No preservatives, and I believe homemade are the best. So let's start. The ingredients you need are maida, that's all-purpose flour, 400 grams plus 2 tablespoons. 1 cup of lukewarm water, that's 250 ml, it shouldn't be hot. Then milk powder, it's optional, 2 tablespoons of milk powder. You can skip it if you want, but it adds some good taste. Then 2 teaspoons of yeast, and then 1 teaspoon of salt, then 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, then 2 tablespoons of butter or oil. Now the first step is to mix in the dry ingredients, that's maida along with the milk powder and then the salt. Give it a good mix and keep it aside. Now we need to activate the yeast, so add in the 2.5 tablespoons of sugar to 1 cup of lukewarm water and mix it well. Then add in the yeast. Here I have used dry yeast. If you are using instant yeast, then you can add it directly to the all-purpose flour. Mix it well and cover it with a lid. Let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes in warm or dark place. Now after 10 minutes, you see the yeast has started to froth. If you don't find your yeast like this, then you should discard it and prepare another one. Otherwise your bread won't proof. Now into a mixing bowl, add the yeast mixture along with the dry ingredients. It's better to use your hands to mix rather than the spatulas or the spoons. You may feel in the beginning that your dough is sticky, but don't add any flour, just keep kneading it. If you find the dough little tough or hard after kneading it for 5 to 7 minutes, then please add only 1 tablespoon of water and check. Or if you find the dough more sticky after kneading it for 5 to 7 minutes, then add 1 to 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, not more than that. Now add the butter or oil and knead it well. Now you have to stretch and knead it. Almost within 7 to 8 minutes, it's done. Now apply a teaspoon of oil or butter on the sides of the bowl so that the dough doesn't stick after proofing up. Cover it with a cling wrapper and let it double up in size. I should say it would take almost 1.5 hours to proof. This is the first proofing step. Now after 1 hour, you see the dough has doubled up in size. Remove the cling wrapper. And punch out the air in the dough and transfer it to a flat surface. You need to shape the dough. Apply a teaspoon of oil or you can dust some flour, it's your choice, and place the dough. Just follow the steps I have shown here. First roll the dough and flatten it with your hands. or you can use a chapati roller pin. We have to remove the air in the dough, so roll the roller on all the sides and make it flat like this. Now fold in the way I have shown, and after folding each side of the dough, remember to pinch the dough to seal the edges. Do not roll them harder, just roll them gently and pinch them on all the sides. Now you don't want any air pockets inside the dough, so roll it again and do as the way before. Next, take a loaf pan and brush oil on the sides and place a parchment paper below. Now you need to place the sealed edge downwards, so turn the dough upside down and place it in the loaf pan gently. Press the dough all the sides firmly and cover the pan with a cling wrapper, or you can even use the lid of the loaf pan, but make sure you leave some space like this before covering it up, and that will be second final proofing. In the meanwhile, you need to heat a kadai or pan or anything that would fit your loaf pan in. Add some salt in the bottom and cover and preheat it for 5 to 10 minutes in medium flame. Now after 30 minutes, you see the dough has proofed again. Remove the cling wrapper. Now you need to brush some milk on top so that you get some baked color. And you can add some sesame or kalonji seeds. I prefer kalonji seeds. They give a lovely aroma after baking. And gently press them. Now place the loaf pan in the preheated kadai. And cover it with the lid. And reduce the flame to low. And let it bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Now it took exactly 35 minutes to bake the bread. You see it's perfectly baked and it has a beautiful color. Now take it out carefully from the kadai. It will be piping hot. Let it cool down. Apply some butter while it's hot on top to get a soft crust. Run a knife through the edges gently to demold the bread from the loaf pan. Now if you want to bake it in an oven, bake in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for around 30 minutes. Cool it completely on a rack before slicing. You need to cool it at least for 1 to 2 hours. You see it's evenly baked on all sides. You get a perfect soft bread baked even without an oven. See how perfect soft bread it is. You can even use the exact measurements of the ingredients even for a wheat bread. Just replace the maida with the wheat flour. So soft and fluffy plain white bread is ready, and it will stay in your fridge for 3 to 4 days. You can serve it either along with jam or butter. Anything will do. Do give a try to this recipe and let me know how it turned out. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Until then, happy cooking!